Have you ever prayed so long, so hard, so deeply that you began to wonder if God heard you? Have you whispered into the night, tears soaking your pillow, words trembling from your lips, asking, begging, pleading for a breakthrough? And in the silence you thought, has God forgotten me? Has He turned His face away from me? My friend, I came to tell you today with the authority of God's word burning in my heart, God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you. God has not overlooked your prayers. God is about to give you everything you prayed for, and the answer is closer than you think. Sometimes we pray and the heavens feel like brass, closed off, impenetrable. Sometimes we pray and the waiting stretches into years, and we begin to think our prayers are nothing but echoes in an empty room. But hear me, the silence of God is never the absence of God. When you think nothing is happening, God is moving. When you think your words have disappeared into the void, God has collected every syllable, every tear, every cry, and He has written them into His plan for your life. There is no wasted prayer when it is lifted to God. There is no forgotten request when it is entrusted to Him. Right now, at this very moment, unseen to your natural eye, God is orchestrating the pieces, arranging the details, shifting circumstances, aligning people, and preparing doors that will swing open in your favor. You prayed for it, you asked for it, you cried for it, and God is about to show you the harvest of those prayers. But hear me carefully, God never gives you what you ask for until He has prepared you to handle it. You have been in the waiting season not because God said no, but because God said, not yet, I am preparing you. That delay was not denial. That silence was not rejection. It was God shaping your character, strengthening your faith, teaching you patience, stretching your spirit, so that when the blessing comes, you will not squander it. You see, some of you have been praying for abundance, but God was first teaching you how to be faithful with little. Some of you have been praying for doors of influence, but God was first teaching you humility in the hidden places. Some of you have been praying for love, but God was first teaching you how to stand strong when you felt alone. Do you understand? The waiting room was your classroom. The silence was your training ground. And now God is saying, you are ready. What you have prayed for, I am about to release. I want you to lift your eyes for a moment and see beyond your current circumstance. What looks like nothing today is about to become everything tomorrow. That job you prayed for, that opportunity you begged for, that healing you wept for, that breakthrough you could hardly imagine, God has already placed it in motion. It may not look like much right now. The sky may still seem cloudy, the doors may still look locked, the season may still feel barren. But God works in the unseen before He manifests in the seen. Just as a seed takes root underground before it breaks through the soil, your prayer has already taken root in the unseen realm. You may not see it sprouting yet, but the roots are deep, the soil is rich, and in due time, it will break forth. God is about to give you everything you prayed for, and it will happen suddenly in ways you did not expect, and at a moment when you least anticipated it. But I must tell you something with absolute urgency. When God moves, you must be ready. God does not give to the half-hearted. He does not release His best to those who treat prayer as a casual game. If you truly believe God is about to give you what you prayed for, then prepare yourself as though it has already been delivered. Walk with the posture of faith. Speak with the authority of one who already holds the promise. Live with the discipline of one entrusted with God's favor. Too many people pray and then live as if nothing is coming. But faith does not sit back and doubt. Faith stands up and prepares. If you prayed for provision, act like the door is about to open. If you prayed for strength, walk as though the power is already in your bones. If you prayed for healing, live as though restoration is on its way. That is the language God responds to. Faith is the key that unlocks the storehouse of heaven. Do not be deceived by the enemy who whispers that your prayer was useless. Do not let doubt poison the soil of your expectation. The devil wants you to give up one day before your answer arrives. He wants you to stop believing when you are inches away from breakthrough. But God sent me to tell you, hold on, your answer is closer than your next breath. God is faithful to His word. God does not lie. God does not tease His children. If He placed a prayer in your heart, it was because He intended to answer it in His time. Your tears have been counted, your cries have been recorded, Your prayers have been stored up like incense before His throne, and the hour of release is drawing near. God is about to give you everything you prayed for, not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, but because He is faithful and He delights in blessing His children who trust Him. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. He does not stand over the soil and demand immediate fruit. He does not curse the ground when the first week passes without sprouts. He knows that something is happening beneath the surface beyond his sight. He waters the soil, he tends the ground, he waits with expectation, and in time the seed breaks through. That is what your prayer life is like. You planted the seed in faith, you watered it with tears, you nurtured it with patience, and now the harvest is near. God is saying, the time of waiting is over. The seed is about to break through. The answer is about to be seen. My friend, do not stop praying now. Do not stop believing now. Do not give up in this final hour. You are on the edge of the very thing you cried for. God is about to give you everything you prayed for. He is about to open doors that no man can shut. He is about to restore what the enemy tried to steal. He is about to turn your mourning into dancing, your ashes into beauty, your sorrow into joy. The very thing you thought was dead, God is breathing life into again. The very place you thought was barren, God is about to make fruitful. The very prayer you thought was ignored, God is about to answer with power. Lift up your head, strengthen your faith, and prepare your heart. The hour is near. The blessing is coming. The answer is here. There comes a moment in every life where the weight of unanswered prayers presses so heavily upon the heart that doubt begins to creep in. You ask, why is God silent? Why does God not move when I cry out? And yet, my friend, the silence of God is not a punishment, it is preparation. When God holds back, it is not because He has closed His ears to you. It is because He is arranging something greater than you imagined. God never denies His faithful servants. He only delays so that when the answer comes, it shakes the heavens with its glory. That is why your waiting has been so long. That is why your nights have been sleepless. That is why your heart has ached. It was not in vain. Every second of waiting has been an investment into a greater future. God has heard you, and God is about to pour into your life the very thing you prayed for with tears, with longing, with faith. Look around you. Look at the battles you have already survived. Look at the storms that should have destroyed you but instead strengthened you. Look at the burdens that nearly broke you, yet here you stand, still believing, still praying, still holding on to God. Do you think that was by accident? No, it was proof that God has been with you every step of the way. If He carried you through what tried to destroy you, how much more will He carry you into what you prayed for? God has not kept you alive just to leave you empty. God has not carried you through trials just to abandon you on the threshold of breakthrough. No, my friend, God has preserved you for this very moment, for the blessing that is now rushing toward you. What you prayed for is about to meet you in due season, and that season is upon you now. Too often, people mistake delay for rejection. But I say again, delay is divine protection. God sometimes withholds what you ask for because He knows the weight of it would crush you before you were ready. He knows the dangers that lie hidden in the timing. He knows that if He gave it too soon, you would not have the wisdom to sustain it. That is why He has been shaping you in the shadows, building strength in your spirit, planting discipline in your daily life, refining your heart to carry what is coming. So instead of asking, why hasn't God answered me? Start declaring, God is preparing me. Because when the answer comes, it will not be fragile, it will not be temporary, it will not be small. It will be strong, permanent, and abundant, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing into your life. Now let me speak plainly. Many of you have prayed not only for survival but for abundance. You have asked God to enlarge your territory, to bless your work, to bring prosperity into your life. But understand this, God does not bless laziness, and He does not reward doubt. If you prayed for increase, then rise up with diligence. If you prayed for opportunity, prepare yourself with excellence. If you prayed for provision, align your life with discipline. God responds to faith in action. Prayer without preparation is empty words. But when your faith takes shape in your living, when your words are backed by your steps, then God begins to release the floodgates of heaven. So I ask you, are you ready for what you prayed for? Have you ordered your life in expectation? Because God is not sending you scraps. He is sending you abundance. He is not giving you crumbs. He is preparing a feast. And you must be ready to sit at the table. There is a divine law at work, a principle God has woven into the fabric of creation. You reap what you sow, and prayer is the seed. Some of you have been sowing prayers for years, maybe decades. You thought the ground swallowed them up. You thought time had buried them. But hear me, God has not forgotten. Every prayer you sowed has been germinating in the soil of heaven, waiting for its appointed season. And now that season is drawing near. Do not mistake the long wait as abandonment. It is proof that the roots are deep. The longer the seed remains in the ground, the stronger the harvest will be. God is about to give you not just what you prayed for, but greater than what you imagined. For God always multiplies the seed of faith. But let me warn you, when God answers, He does so in His way, not yours. Do not box Him in. Do not dictate the method. God may not open the door you knocked on, but He will open a better one down the hall. God may not heal the way you expected, but He will restore in a way that makes you whole. God may not send the opportunity through the person you thought would help, but He will raise up someone unexpected who holds the key. When you pray, you release control. You surrender your will to the higher wisdom of God. So when the answer comes, it may surprise you, it may humble you, it may even break you free from the plans you clung to, but it will always be greater than what you dared to imagine. God is about to give you everything you prayed for. But hear this, He will also test whether you are willing to give Him the glory. Many people cry out for blessing, but when it arrives, they forget the one who gave it. They clutch the gift and abandon the giver. Do not let that be your story. The blessing is not meant to pull you away from God. It is meant to draw you closer. The provision is not meant to inflate your pride. It is meant to magnify God's faithfulness. When your prayer is answered, lift your hands higher. When your need is met, bow your heart deeper. When the door opens, walk through it with gratitude, not arrogance. God is not giving you what you prayed for so that you may boast in yourself. He is giving it so that His greatness will shine through your life. Do not ever forget, your answered prayer is not just about you. It is about God revealing His power to the world through you. And I must say this with urgency. There is a danger in doubt. Doubt is the thief of destiny. Many of you prayed, but then poisoned your own prayers with unbelief. You asked God for provision, but spoke words of scarcity. You prayed for healing, but lived in fear of sickness. You prayed for breakthrough, but doubted it would ever come. My friend, your tongue can either water the seed of prayer or scorch it with fire. If you truly believe God is about to give you what you prayed for, then speak with faith. Declare it with boldness. Stop rehearsing failure and start proclaiming victory. Stop magnifying your problems and start magnifying your God. Faith is not pretending the mountain is small. Faith is declaring that God is bigger than the mountain. Faith is not denying the storm. Faith is proclaiming that God is greater than the storm. Align your mouth with your prayer. Align your words with your faith and watch God move. I tell you again, with the deepest conviction of my soul, God is about to give you everything you prayed for. Some of you will receive restoration in your family. Some will see opportunities open that have been locked for years. Some will rise from the pit of despair into a place of abundance. Some will step out of loneliness into companionship. Some will see healing where doctors said there was none. Some will see debts erased, businesses flourish, doors swing wide, and destinies unfold. And all of it will be because God is faithful. Not because of your strength, not because of your perfection, but because God honors faith, God rewards persistence, and God delights in answering the cries of His people. There are moments in life when you can almost feel the atmosphere shift around you, when the weight of delay begins to lift, and you sense that something is about to break open. That is where many of you are right now. You have walked through the valley, you have endured the drought, and now the wind of God's promise is beginning to stir the air. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit knows. Deep within you, there is a whisper from God declaring, the time is near. The waiting is over. What you prayed for is on its way. That is not imagination, that is revelation. God plants that knowing inside you before the blessing arrives, so that when it does, you recognize it was His hand and not chance that brought it forth. Do not underestimate the power of the unseen. Just because you cannot see it does not mean God is not working. The greatest miracles of God always begin hidden, shielded from the natural eye until the appointed time. Think about the sunrise. It begins long before the first ray pierces the horizon. The sky is dark, the earth is still, yet already the light is pushing back the night. In the same way, your prayer has already set something in motion. Though your world still looks dark, though the night still lingers, the dawn is approaching. And when God's light breaks forth, it does not ask permission. It does not wait for circumstances to align. It overwhelms the darkness in a single moment. God is about to bring that sudden shift into your life, the kind that no one can explain but everyone can see. Many of you have prayed with such intensity that your heart is weary, and you wonder, will the answer ever come? Hear me? Your weariness is proof that the fight has been real, but it is also proof that the finish line is near. You do not grow this weary at the beginning of the race. You grow weary when the finish line is just ahead. And God says to you today, do not stop running, do not stop believing, do not stop pressing forward. Your prayer is about to meet its answer. What you thought was impossible is about to manifest, because nothing is too hard for God. No door is too heavy for Him to open. No heart is too hard for Him to soften. No mountain is too tall for Him to move. You may not have the strength to push anymore, but God does not need your strength. He only needs your faith. I must speak to those of you who have faced disappointment. You prayed once before, and the answer did not come in the way you hoped. You trusted, and the outcome broke your heart. And now when you pray, a shadow of fear hangs over your words. You wonder if it is even worth believing again. My friend, listen carefully. Disappointment is not the final chapter. What looked like rejection was redirection. God did not deny you, He shielded you from something you could not see. His wisdom is greater than your desire, and His plan is higher than your understanding. If God closed one door, it is because He was preparing a better one. If He withheld one blessing, it is because He was arranging a greater blessing. Do not let disappointment harden your heart. God is not finished with you. He is about to answer you in a way that erases every shadow of past sorrow. You will look back one day and say, now I understand why God delayed. Now I see why He said no. It was because He had something far better. Some of you have prayed not only for yourselves, but for your children, for your family, for the generations that will follow you. You have cried to God for protection, for guidance, for provision over those you love. And you wonder if your prayers will outlive your days. Let me assure you, God is eternal, and the prayers you speak do not die with you. They carry forward like arrows into the future, striking the hearts and lives of those you prayed for long after your voice has fallen silent. Do not think for a moment that your prayers for your family are wasted. God is already weaving them into the lives of your children and your children's children. Generations will rise and walk in blessings you prayed down, even if they never knew the sound of your voice. Such is the faithfulness of God. He not only answers you, He answers through you for the ones who come after you. I tell you also, there is a reason why the battle became so fierce right before now. The enemy always fights hardest when he knows the answer is near. When your prayers were first spoken, the resistance was light. But as your blessing drew closer, as the heavens prepared to release what you asked for, the storms grew stronger, the pressure more intense, the attacks more personal. That is no accident. It is proof that you are on the verge of breakthrough. The enemy knows he cannot stop God, so he tries to stop you from believing. But if you will hold firm in faith, if you will refuse to let go of God's promise, you will step into the very thing you fought so hard for. The battle has been heavy because the blessing will be great. The struggle has been fierce because the answer will be abundant. God is about to give you what you prayed for, and the enemy will be powerless to stop it. And let me speak directly to your faith. Do not be timid in what you expect from God. Too often we pray small prayers because we are afraid to believe for more. But God is not limited by your imagination. God is not restrained by your reasoning. God does not measure His generosity by your limitations. When you pray, you are not speaking to a man. You are speaking to the one who spoke the universe into being. You are asking the Creator who formed the stars and set the oceans in place. Do not insult Him with small requests when He has declared that He is able to do abundantly beyond all that you ask or think. If you prayed for provision, believe for overflow. If you prayed for strength, believe for power. If you prayed for healing, believe for wholeness. If you prayed for a door, believe for a pathway that no one can shut. God delights in giving beyond what you dared to request, because in doing so, He shows His glory. But remember this, as well-answered prayers come with responsibility. God will not pour into your life just so you can consume it upon yourself. He answers prayers so that through you, others may be blessed. When He provides, it is so you may become a vessel of provision. When He heals, it is so you may become a testimony of His power. When He opens doors, it is so you may lift others through those doors with you. Your answered prayer is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to flow through you. That is how God's kingdom expands, not by isolated blessings, but by rivers of answered prayers that overflow into the lives of others. Do not hoard what God gives you. Become a channel. Become a vessel. Become a witness that when people see your life, they cannot deny the hand of God. My friend, when God begins to move in your life, He moves suddenly. You may wait for months or even years, but when the appointed hour strikes, the shift happens in a single breath. One day you are in the wilderness, the next you are standing in the land of promise. One night you are weeping, and by morning your laughter has returned. One moment the door looks sealed shut, and the next moment it swings wide with favor you could not manufacture on your own. That is how God works. His timing is not measured by your clock, nor restrained by your calendar. When His moment comes, no force on earth or in the heavens can delay it. What you prayed for will not arrive one day too late. It will not come one moment too soon. It will arrive at the exact second God has ordained. And when it does, you will see how perfect His timing always was. But let me ask you, will you recognize the answer when it arrives? Too many people pray for rain, but complain when the clouds form. They ask God for strength, but resist the trials that build it. They ask for growth, but avoid the discomfort that shapes it. Do not miss the answer because you expected it to come in another form. God may not deliver what you ask for in the package you imagined. He may send provision through unexpected means. He may bring restoration through a path you never considered. He may fulfill your prayer in a way that humbles your pride but exalts His glory. Do not reject the answer because it offends your expectation. Remember, God's wisdom is higher than yours. His ways are not your ways. When the answer comes, it will be exactly what you need, even if it is not what you envisioned. And hear me now, when God gives you what you prayed for, it will not only satisfy your need, it will exceed it. God never gives in fragments. He does not give you half a blessing. He does not place crumbs on your table and leave you begging for more. When He moves in fullness. If you prayed for peace, He will bring peace that guards your entire being. If you prayed for provision, He will bring abundance that silences fear. If you prayed for strength, He will fill you with power that carries you beyond the storm. This is the nature of God. He does not just answer prayers. He magnifies them until the answer declares His greatness to the world. But I must tell you, this is not a season to shrink back in fear. This is not a season to second-guess God. The blessing that is coming requires courage to receive. Sometimes we grow so comfortable in waiting that we resist stepping into the very thing we asked for. You prayed for open doors, now you must walk through them. You prayed for opportunity, now you must rise to meet it. You prayed for blessing, now you must steward it with responsibility. Do not be afraid of answered prayer. It may stretch you, it may challenge you, it may require more faith than you thought you had, but God would not give it to you if He had not already prepared you to carry it. Do not shrink back. Step forward boldly, knowing that if God entrusted you with it, He will sustain you in it. And let me speak to those who feel unworthy. You have prayed, but deep down you whisper, "Why would God answer me? Why would God bless someone like me?" My friend, God's faithfulness is not measured by your perfection. It is measured by His promise. If you were perfect, you would not need to pray. If you had it all together, you would not need to depend on Him. God answers because He delights in showing mercy. God fulfills because He delights in proving His power. Do not disqualify yourself from blessing because of your flaws. Do not silence your own prayers with shame. If God put the prayer in your heart, it was because He intended to answer it. Stand tall. Lift your head. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not abandoned. God is about to answer you, not because you are flawless, but because He is faithful. And when that answer comes, it will silence every voice that doubted you. Those who mocked your faith, those who ridiculed your prayers, those who said you were wasting your time, they will watch as God vindicates you, not by your might, not by your strength, but by His hand. He will prepare a table for you in the very presence of those who doubted. Not to shame them, but to glorify Himself. They will see the evidence of God in your life, and they will know that it was not luck, not chance, not coincidence, it was God. That is why you cannot stop now. That is why you cannot let doubt win. Because when the answer comes, it will not only bless you, it will become a testimony to everyone around you that God is real, God is faithful, and God is powerful. Do not be surprised if God answers bigger than you ask. You may have prayed for just enough to survive, but God is preparing more than enough to thrive. You may have prayed for a single door, but God is preparing a hallway of opportunities. You may have prayed for relief, but God is preparing restoration. He is not limited by your request. He is not confined to your imagination. He answers according to His abundance, not your scarcity. So lift your prayers higher, expand your expectation, believe for greater. For God is not giving you scraps, He is pouring out fullness. What you prayed for is only the beginning of what He intends to release. And do not forget this: every answered prayer comes with a test of stewardship. Will you honor God with what He has given, or will you let the blessing distract you from the one who blessed you? Too many cry out in desperation and then fall silent in abundance. They seek God in drought and forget Him in harvest. Do not let your answered prayer become your downfall. If God increases you, let gratitude increase in you. If He provides for you, let generosity flow from you. If He opens a door, walk through it with humility, giving Him glory every step. The blessing is not meant to pull you away from God. It is meant to anchor you deeper in Him. Answered prayer is not just a gift. It is a responsibility. It is a call to live with greater faith, greater devotion, greater surrender to God. There are moments when the silence of God feels deafening, when you kneel and pray, and heaven seems still. Yet I tell you with all the fire that burns in my soul, this silence is not the absence of God, it is the preparation of God. The ground beneath your feet is shifting. Though you cannot see it, the doors you thought were shut forever are creaking in their hinges, though you cannot hear it. The hand of God is already moving in places hidden from your eyes, setting into motion blessings you dared to pray for, aligning circumstances you thought impossible, and preparing hearts that will favor you when the hour comes. The waiting was never wasted, the tears were never unseen, the prayers were never ignored. God has heard every word, and He has stored them like treasures to be released at the appointed moment. You see, too often we mistake the delay of God for denial. But delay is not denial, it is development. It is the strengthening of your faith, the building of your endurance, the refining of your spirit. If God gave you everything the moment you asked, your heart might not be ready to carry it, your character might not be strong enough to sustain it, and your spirit might not be deep enough to steward it. But when God delays, He is not withholding, He is preparing. He is shaping you into the vessel that can hold the abundance He is about to pour. And I tell you now, there is a fullness on the way, a pouring that will not trickle but overflow, a blessing that will not barely satisfy but exceed your need until your cup runs over. God is about to give you everything you prayed for, but not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, but because He is faithful to His word, faithful to His promises, and faithful to His children. God has sworn by Himself that His word will not return empty, and if He has declared a blessing over you, nothing in heaven or on earth can revoke it. Your enemies cannot stop it, your past cannot cancel it, your failures cannot erase it. When God says yes, no man can say no. When God opens a door, no power can shut it. When God appoints a season, nothing can delay it. And your season is now drawing near. But let me speak plainly to your soul, you must not give up before the breakthrough comes. Too many walk away in the last hour, abandoning the harvest when the field is ripe, letting go of the rope just before the blessing arrives. Do not be counted among them. Hold on, keep believing, keep trusting. The night is almost over, and the dawn is about to break. God is a God of timing, and His timing is perfect. He has aligned your prayers with His plan, your desire with His will, your need with His abundance. You may not see it, but faith is the evidence of what you cannot yet see. Stand on that evidence, for it is stronger than what your eyes can behold. Think of the countless times in your life when you thought it was the end, but God made a way. When you thought you had lost it all, but God restored you. When you thought the door was forever closed, but God opened another. Those moments were not accidents. They were reminders that God is in control, and He has never failed you. And if He has never failed you, why would He start now? If He sustained you then, He will bless you now. If He carried you before, He will lift you higher today. God is about to release into your hands the very things you cried out for in the midnight hour, the things you whispered when no one else was listening, the things you begged for with trembling lips and weary eyes. He has bottled your tears, and He is about to exchange them for joy. He has heard your groans, and He is about to turn them into laughter. He has seen your sacrifice, and He is about to reward you openly. That is the nature of God. He is not unjust. He is not forgetful. He is not blind. He remembers, He rewards, He restores. But understand this, when God blesses, it is not for you alone. He blesses so that His glory may be revealed through you. He blesses so that others may look at your life and see the goodness of God. He blesses so that you may become a testimony, a living witness of His power. And if you dare to carry this blessing with humility, if you dare to walk in it with gratitude, if you dare to use it for the good of others, then God will multiply it beyond measure. What you thought was the answer to a single prayer will become a fountain that blesses many. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and set your eyes on God, for your time has come. The world may not know it, the people around you may not see it, but heaven has already decreed it. The blessing has already been written into your destiny, the promise has already been signed with the seal of God, and soon it will break forth into the visible. Do not measure God's promise by your circumstance, for circumstances shift, but God remains. Do not measure His plan by your limitations, for His power has no limits. Do not measure His faithfulness by your feelings, for feelings fade, but God's word endures forever. And when it comes, and it will come, you will know without a doubt that it was not by your strength, not by your wisdom, not by your power, but by the hand of Almighty God. You will know that your prayers did not echo into emptiness, but reached the throne of the one who governs all things. And in that moment, when the answer is in your hands, when the blessing is on your life, when the doors swing wide open before you, you will remember the waiting, and you will understand why it had to be this way. Now I tell you again, with the weight of heaven on these words, God is about to give you everything you prayed for. Not some of it, not part of it, but all of it, in His time, in His way, in His measure. Get ready. Prepare your heart, make room for the blessing. Because when God moves, He does not move halfway. He moves completely, abundantly, overwhelmingly. The chapter you are about to step into will make the pain of the last chapter worth it. The joy you are about to hold will make the tears you shed fade into memory. The fulfillment you are about to taste will silence every doubt you ever had. When you walk with God, you walk with certainty even when the path beneath your feet looks uncertain. You may not see the map, but you can trust the one who holds it. You may not know how the next step will unfold, but you can trust the one who orders your steps. You may not understand the silence, the delay, the unanswered questions, but you can trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. And right now, in this very moment, God is closer than you think, working in ways beyond your imagination, ready to deliver the very things you prayed for. Do not let the storms of life convince you otherwise. The storm is not proof of God's absence. It is proof of God's presence, because the storm is often the stage upon which His power is revealed. When the winds rage and the waves rise, that is when you discover the strength of the one who sustains you. And the greater the storm, the greater the testimony of God's deliverance. If your struggle has been fierce, if your trial has been long, then rejoice, for the magnitude of your struggle is a sign of the magnitude of the blessing on the way. The enemy does not fight what has no value. The adversity you face is confirmation that something precious is being birthed in your life. Hold to this truth. God does not forget the cry of His children. He hears you when you whisper in the night. He sees you when your heart aches in silence. He knows the weight you carry even when you cannot put it into words. And though it may seem as if nothing is happening, I assure you everything is happening. Heaven is moving in response to your faith. God is aligning people, positioning resources, orchestrating events. What looks like chaos to you is order in His hands. What feels like delay to you is precision in His timing. What appears like rejection is often redirection to something greater. There is coming a day when the very things that troubled you will serve as the foundation of your victory. The prayers you prayed in pain will become the songs you sing in joy. The nights you spent weeping will give birth to mornings of laughter. The valley you walked through will lead to the mountaintop of triumph. For God never wastes suffering, He never discards tears, He never overlooks faith. He gathers it all and transforms it into something far greater than what you asked for. That is the mystery of God, that He gives not only what we request, but often more than we imagine. And I say to you now, prepare yourself, for when God is about to release His blessing, it requires room in your heart, room in your mind, and room in your life to receive it. Some of you are still clinging to old things, holding on to past hurts, carrying unnecessary weights that leave no space for the new. You must let them go, because the blessing God is bringing cannot fit into the containers of yesterday. Do not try to pour new oil into old vessels. Do not hold on to what He has already asked you to release. Trust that what He has ahead is greater than what lies behind. You may wonder, why would God take me through so much before giving me what I prayed for? And the answer is this: preparation precedes possession. God will not place a treasure into unprepared hands. Just as a farmer tills the soil before planting seed, God tills the soil of your heart before planting blessing. Every trial, every disappointment, every delay has been part of the tilling, part of the shaping, part of the refining. It may not have been pleasant, but it was necessary. And now that the soil has been broken, the seed of blessing is about to spring forth. Remember this also: God's blessings are not only for your comfort, but for your calling. He blesses you so that you may rise into purpose. He answers your prayers so that your life may bear witness to His greatness. If you prayed for provision, He will supply, but not only to meet your need, He will supply so that you may help others. If you prayed for healing, He will restore, but not only for your relief. He will restore so that your testimony will lift others. If you prayed for guidance, He will lead, but not only to take you forward. He will lead so that you can bring others with you. God's blessings are always bigger than you, because His plan always stretches beyond one life. Do not think that your waiting has been wasted time. What you thought was stagnation was actually incubation. Just as a seed lies unseen beneath the soil before it bursts forth into life, your prayers have been germinating in the unseen, waiting for the appointed season to break forth. The hidden does not mean the absent. The delay does not mean the denied. It means growth is taking place where you cannot see, and when the season is right, what was once hidden will manifest openly, and no one will be able to deny that it was the hand of God. I urge you, do not grow weary. You are closer than you think. The finish line is nearer than your eyes can see. Every step you take in faith, even when you feel weak, is bringing you into alignment with God's promise. The breakthrough is not somewhere far off in the distance. It is already forming around you. The answer is already traveling toward you. The blessing is already written into your story. God is not preparing the blessing alone, He is preparing you to meet it. Then hear me now as I speak with every ounce of conviction that burns within me. Do not lose hope. Do not let your heart faint, for the hour you have prayed for is drawing near. The heavens are not deaf, the earth is not still, and your prayers have not vanished into silence. God has been listening all along, and He has been writing your answer into the very fabric of your destiny. Every moment of pain was not in vain. Every sacrifice was not forgotten. Every tear has been gathered, and every word you lifted has reached His throne. Lift your eyes from the weight of the struggle and fix them on the greatness of God. He who created the stars does not fail His people. He who breathes life into every living thing does not overlook the cries of His children. He who commands the seas and sets the boundaries of the earth is more than able to command your blessing and set the boundaries of your victory. God is about to give you everything you prayed for, not some portion, not a fragment, not a shadow of what you asked, but the fullness, the overflow, the abundance that only He can deliver. And when it comes, it will come with such clarity that you will know without question that it was not by your power, not by your wisdom, not by your hand, but by the mighty hand of God alone. You will stand in awe, your mouth filled with praise, your heart overflowing with gratitude, and your life shining as a testimony to the faithfulness of God. So prepare yourself, make room in your spirit, stretch your faith wider, because the blessing that is coming will be greater than the prayers you prayed. The waiting was only the doorway, and now the door is about to open. God is moving, God is answering, and God is about to place in your hands everything you have been waiting for. My friend, let me ask you a question that will shake your soul tonight. Have you ever stood in a place and wondered, how did I get here? How did someone like me, overlooked, broken, and unqualified, end up standing in a position of honor, in a place I never dreamed possible? Let me tell you, it was not your RA Summe, not your connections, not your strength, not your cleverness, and not your qualifications that placed you there. It was God and only God who lifted you. Because when God decides to lift you, He will lift you into a place that no man's approval can give and no enemy's attack can take away. You may not qualify by the standards of the world, but God will set you in positions that even the educated, the powerful, and the privileged will look at and ask, how did they get there? There are moments in life when you will feel too small for the calling, too weak for the challenge, too unworthy for the blessing. But hear me clearly, God specializes in taking the ones who seem disqualified and raising them to heights where no human effort could ever take them. If you think you need to be the strongest, the smartest, the most talented, or the most polished, you are mistaken. God looks at the humble heart, the surrendered spirit, the one who depends fully on Him, and He says, that is the one I will lift. When God chooses to elevate you, no opinion, no criticism, no record of your past can keep you chained down. You see, people will often tell you that you are not good enough. They will whisper behind your back, she doesn't deserve that. He's not qualified for that. They are not capable of carrying that responsibility. But the truth is, God does not promote you based on human qualifications. He promotes you based on His divine plan. He promotes you based on what He has spoken over your life before you were even born. And when God speaks, no man can reverse it. You may not have the degree, you may not have the wealth, you may not have the perfect background, but when God decides to lift you, He will bypass the very things you thought were obstacles and use them as stepping stones for your elevation. Think about how life has tried to keep you small. Every time you took a step forward, something came to push you 2 steps back. Every time you thought you were finally moving ahead, opposition rose up like a flood. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still pressing forward. Why? Because God has His hand on you. Because God has been preparing you for something greater than your present situation. And when the right moment comes, God will launch you into a place so far beyond your qualifications that even your enemies will be forced to admit that it had nothing to do with you. It was all God. The world loves to keep score. They measure your worth by your achievements, your bank account, your title, your appearance, your background. But God does not look at the outer qualifications, He looks at the heart. And when your heart is aligned with Him, when your spirit is surrendered to Him, He will put you in positions that make no sense to the human mind. He will open doors that should never have opened. He will cause people who never thought about you to favor you. He will make opportunities chase you down. And He will set you on high places, not because you qualified, but because you trusted. Do you know why God does this? Because He wants the world to see His power at work. If you had the qualifications, if you had the connections, if you had the resources, then people would give you the credit. But when you had nothing, when you came from nothing, when you were rejected and overlooked, and yet you still rose, people will know it was God. And that is exactly what He wants. God wants His glory revealed in your life. He wants your story to be so impossible, so unlikely, so unexpected, that everyone around you will have to acknowledge that only God could have done it. Some of you have been overlooked for years. You've been faithful, you've worked hard, you've prayed, you've waited, and still doors have closed in your face. But I declare to you today, do not be discouraged, because when God opens the right door, you will not need to knock twice. When God chooses to lift you, you will not have to beg for acceptance. You will not have to prove yourself to anyone. You will walk into that place, and even the people who thought you did not belong will have no choice but to respect the hand of God on your life. There is coming a moment when God will take the very things that disqualified you and use them as the foundation for your blessing. The pain you endured, the rejection you faced, the struggles you went through, God will use all of it to show that His power is greater than your weakness. The world said you weren't enough, but God says, with me, you are more than enough. The world said you would fail, but God says, I will make you stand. The world said you were not worthy, but God says, I have chosen you, and that is enough. Do not let your lack intimidate you. Do not let your past shame you. Do not let your insecurities silence you, because God is not finished with you. He is not done writing your story, and the next chapter is not going to look like the last. The next season of your life is going to shock everyone who thought they had you figured out. You will walk into positions you did not apply for. You will inherit blessings you did not work for. You will receive honor you did not seek. Because God Himself is about to lift you into a place you never qualified for. But hear this, my friend, when God lifts you, it will not be for your glory, it will be for His. He is not elevating you so you can boast in your own strength. He is elevating you so that when people look at your life, they will see His fingerprints. They will see His power. They will see His faithfulness. And they will know that God is still in the business of taking the least likely and making them a testimony of His greatness. Some of you are worried right now, wondering how it's going to happen. You look at your situation and you say, I don't see a way. I don't see how I could ever get there. I don't see how I could ever qualify for that position, for that blessing, for that breakthrough. But let me tell you, you don't have to see the